up everyone? Welcome back. My name is Sarashtavi and today I am discussing all my favorite books of 2024. I've read a ton of books this year. I think this is the most books I've probably ever read in a year. I do tend to read more than the average amount, have been all my life, but this year specifically I've read way too many books. I've read 69 books so far and I'm in the middle of two books. So if we finish that before the year, we'll see. But today I want to talk about my absolute favorite 5 stars of the year, and I have 11 of those out of all the books I've read this year. So let's talk about it. Which again, I feel so crazy to say. Like, honestly, I personally don't feel like the year is ending. It isn't hitting me the fact that the year is ending. We've like finished it all and we're starting 2025 soon. So it feels so weird to say, oh, my favorites of the year. Like, this is the final list for the year. That's crazy to me. But anyway, let's get into the favorites. First up, I want to talk about Happy Place by Emily Henry. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't feel like I read this book this year. It feels like I read this book a lifetime ago. Either I've read too many books this year or too much has happened to me. I don't know. But Happy Place by Emily Henry is a contemporary romance. I'm sure you've already heard about it. Emily Henry is really popular on Book Talk. And I read two books by her this year, Happy Place and Funny Story. I enjoyed both, but Happy Place just has all my heart. I loved it so much. Her writing is so beautiful. The way she provides a setting, honestly, is so beautiful. I feel like every time I read an Emily Henry book, I just feel like she's writing about the kind of lifestyle I want to be living. And this one is like in a coastal town, and the characters were so cute and lovable. The romance was so lovable. The friend dynamics were lovable. Everything about this book was so refreshing and so warm to read about. So Happy Place right off the bat was like a favorite for me. The next book I want to talk about is the third book in a trilogy. I read the first two books in the previous years, but I got to the third book in this year, which is One of Us is Back. It's the third book in the One of Us is Lying trilogy. Again, it feels like I read this a lifetime ago, but it was literally just January. I don't know. I don't know. Time just doesn't feel real to me. But One of Us is Back is another favorite of mine for a lot of reasons. I loved One of Us is Lying. If you haven't read it yet, I would highly recommend. It's a young adult mystery. The first book is about these five kids in detention, and by the end of detention, one of those five kids ends up dead, and now the other four are trying to figure out what happened. Such a good mystery, honestly, such a good character analysis, it's such a good plot, such good writing. I would highly recommend. In the second book, we follow the sibling of one of the characters and two friends, and in the third book, we follow all of them together. Honestly, more than the mystery, I was just here for the characters. The mystery was good and interesting, don't get me wrong, but the characters just have all my heart. I feel like the little world she's built through these three books is so warm, again, warm to read about, because these books are found family to the core. The dynamics between them, the way they protect each other, the way they solve these mysteries together, this entire town, the setting, it's so lovely to read about, and the mysteries are always so engaging. The plot has been so well handled. There are some really amazing themes as well, which I did not expect out of a young adult book. If you're into mysteries, or even if you aren't into mysteries yet but you would like to check it out, I feel like this trilogy is a very good place to start. It gives you like a little bit of everything. And my favorite thing about young adult mysteries has always been the fact that not only is the plot rich, but also the characters also rich and fleshed out. And for me personally, the more you can connect to the characters, the deeper you'll connect with the story. So honestly, like, this entire trilogy is a 5 on 5 for me. I highly recommend. The next favorite, of course, I have is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've yapped about this book like a million times this year. After a point, I honestly had to start telling myself to calm down and not talk about it as much, because I was bringing it up in every single video. But I can't help it. I fell so in love with this book at the start of the year. This is a romantic fantasy. It's a proper romantasy, and honestly, it's more on the romance side than the fantasy side, which is unusual for me because I prefer my fantasies to be more on the fantasy side. But this one just had my heart, and how. The romance, I keep saying this over and over again, and I will always keep saying it. It's some of the most beautiful romance I've ever read. The author really has a knack for writing her romances, and I feel like this is like her debut series. I think she has a lot of potential to write great romanticism for the future. And I'm not gonna lie, the book is trope filled. Like, any trope you can think of, the book has it. It's definitely chasing the tropes. There's definitely less plot. And it's also very inspired by the Hunger Games and some aspects of Harry Potter even. keep that in mind. It definitely is not something that feels new, and it's very, very trope filled. So you have to know what you're coming in for. If you know what you're signing up for, you're gonna enjoy it. And I did, and I thoroughly did. If you like a good enemies to lovers plot, if you like slow burn, because honestly, this is one of the most slow burn books I've ever read, and I love that. Like when I say slow burn, I mean slow burn. And we have all these like dagger to the throat trope and nightmare trope, all of these great things happening in the books. So yeah, powerless. Next book I want to talk about is Once Upon a Broken Heart. Not just Once Upon a Broken Heart, but the second book as well, The Ballad of Never After. The third book I'm a little iffy about, but those first two books, oh my god. Book talk can be quite misleading sometimes, but not with this series. If you've heard too much about it and you're unsure about picking it up, trust me, go for it because it was so good. I read Caraval last year. I read the Caraval trilogy last year, and it was nice. It was enjoyable. It's a good time, but it's not anything brilliant. And the finale in that trilogy, especially, really pissed me off. So I always did want to get to Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I got into it with not very high expectations. But man, if you read Caraval and you didn't like it and you didn't continue because honestly, Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After are worth it. They're worth going through the Caraval trilogy. I think my favorite thing about these books is the world building. The world building, I have been searching the entire year to find books that have the kind of world building that this series has. Stephanie Garber has knocked it out with this world. The setting that she's given us, the lore that she's given us, the magic system that she's given us, it is beautiful every single time with every piece of magic that we unfurl and every piece of lore that we get. The world, I was eating it up the entire time. The world building is just so rich. I could yap about the world building for days. Like we have so many different magical elements and magical places and magical things in this series. You could honestly write a book about every little bit of a magical place or a magical thing or a magical power or a magical element in this world. That's how enriched the world is. Her books are a hit or a miss sometimes, I get it, but I would pick up all her books just to keep reading stories set in this world. But apart from the world building, I honestly enjoyed the plot as well. The plot was so good, the romance was so good, the characters, oh my god, Evangeline is not the kind of characters I usually go for. I'm just not into the girls yearning for love and wanting their one true love and their happily ever after. That's not the kind of vibe I ever am into. But Evangeline grew on me like no one's business. Yeah. So Once Upon a Broken Heart, absolutely love it. I would love to reread it, honestly. Next, another favorite I've talked about way too much, which is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Read it earlier this year as well. It's such a great book. It's a general fiction book. It's in Swedish originally, but it's been translated. What a story. I don't know what I was expecting when I got into the book, but whatever it was not this. Because on the surface, the book talks about it's a story about a bank robbery gone wrong, and the bank robber who tried to rob the bank couldn't, fail to do so, and then they ran into like an apartment building where there was an apartment showing going around, and then they took all the people hostage in that apartment accidentally. So that's what the story is. It's a very whimsical story. While on the surface that's what the plot is and trying to figure out, and throughout the book you're figuring out the mystery of what really happened, at the core of it, it's really a story about the human experience. We follow a bunch of characters. We follow the bank robber, we follow the people who were taken hostage, we follow the detectives, we follow people attached to these people. Lots of different perspectives, but at no point does the story feel convoluted with different perspectives. They all make sense and they all feel right to the story. The story really is just about human connection and human anxieties and our fears and dreams, and about loving, about grieving, about navigating adulthood and parenthood, and all these wonderful things and experiences that all of us can relate to. Like, I genuinely feel like every person, whether you're a reader or not, should be reading this book. It's such a comfort to have, and I especially think that people in their 20s and above should definitely go for this book. Anxious People, I could not recommend enough. If you haven't read it, put it on the top of your list. Get to it right now. I could not be yapping about this enough. The next book I want to talk about is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This is only the second book I've read by Lynn Painter. The first was better than the movies that I read last year. But I enjoyed this one a lot more. I know people's favorite is better than the movies, but this one knocked it out of the park for me. I just associate such a good memory with this book as well. Like when I think of this book, I think of when I read this on the beach. I read most of this book on the beach and just had a great day on the beach. And then I came home and I was home alone and I finished off the book and I had a good day that day. And that's what I always think of when I think of this book. But what the book is about, it's a romance. It's another young adult romance. And it's between our two characters, Charlie and Bailey, who they meet on an airplane 3 years ago, did not like each other, reconnect 3 years later because they're working in the same place and they become friends and fall in love. It's very cute, very sweet, very well written. I was honestly in love with both their characters and their personal journeys and their romance. It was just really sweet and nice and heartwarming. I made a whole video about it if you want to check it out. So that's Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Next book I want to talk about is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. This was my first Dark Academia book. It's a Dark Academia fantasy, like a romantic gothic fantasy. Absolutely fell in love with it. I had a feeling going into it that this could be the book for me. Just sometimes you just know, when you're going into a book, and it really was for me. Once again, the writing, the world building, the lore, so well done, so well done. This is my first book by Ava Reid that I've read. Absolutely enjoyed it. And also, it's a dark academia fantasy book. It's about this girl who is studying in architecture college and she gets the opportunity to go and rebuild the house of her favorite author who's now passed away. And once she gets there, there's already a boy there from the literature college in her entire university. She and that boy together start trying to figure out what really happened to this author and all the dark secrets behind his stories that he's published. It's a beautiful story, it's a fantasy, it's a mystery, but at the same time, there's so many deeper themes running in the background around fantasy versus reality, and at the core of everything, it's a feminist story. So honestly, I ate this up like no one's business. I would love to reread. It has a sequel coming out next year, which I'm excited for. So yeah, A Study in Drowning, once again, a fantastic book I would highly recommend. Okay, next book, no surprises here. It's A 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Another book I've been talking about way too much. This is again a contemporary romance. Lots of contemporary romance going on in this list suddenly. But The 7-Year Slip is one of the best, probably the best contemporary romance I've ever read. This book had such a chokehold on me, I can't even explain it to you. Like, I was sucked in. I could think of nothing else but this book. And that doesn't happen to me unless it's like a mystery or a fantasy book. For a romance to do that, insane. I feel like this book was like a perfect amalgamation of everything I like and I want. It's filled with the cutest romance. The guy is a chef, so every time they're having a meal or they're talking about a food, it is so well written. She's a painter and a reader, so once again, all the writing around that is so vivid. They live in New York, she's traveled the world, so the book is just filled with elements of art and food and traveling. It's just filled with so much passion and so much life. Every page is filled with so much life. Like, I feel like my soul felt renewed after reading that book. She also has a great relationship with her aunt, who I personally felt like I could relate to a lot. The story has an element of magical realism in it, but it's still so grounded in reality. And these characters, they just felt so real. And I haven't even explained what the book is about, but it's about this girl who has a time traveling apartment. And one day the apartment time travels to 7 years back in time, where there's a guy there and she falls in love with that guy. They fall in love with each other, and oh my god, I cannot explain to you how heartwarming this book is. It even made me shed a tear at some point. Yeah, I think my favorite thing I can say is that it's just dripping. It's dripping with passion and love and life and just a sense of wonder. And just every time people think of romanticizing reading and books and escapism, this is the feeling that people are alluding to reading this book, this experience. So yeah, enigmatic story, highly recommend. Please do check it out. Okay, the second last book I want to talk about is the Heartstopper series, of course. I've read 3 volumes so far this year. I absolutely loved them. They took me by surprise. I was expecting to like them, but I wasn't expecting to love them as much as I did. It's a queer romance between these two boys in high school. It is so sweet. They're graphic novels, and all the art is so beautiful to look at. They're so cute. They honestly flow off the pages so easily. Their chemistry is so good. They're so communicative. And I talked about this before. I feel like we need to bring back healthy communication in books because seeing them and the way they communicate, it's such a joy to read. It brings me so much pleasure. Like it eases my heart, honestly. But apart from that, there's a lot of great conversation in all these books about identity and coming out and sexuality and mental health and things like self harm and eating disorders, even. And all of it has been carried out with a lot of sensitivity and has been done really well, in my opinion. I'm going to continue with the series in the new year. But these first three volumes, loved them. And the last books I want to talk about are two books in the Natural series, book number 2 and 3, which is Killer Instinct and All In. The Naturals is another young adult mystery series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And when I talked about my Naturals review in my wrap up for November, I think, I talked about how I was disappointed in the book and I did not enjoy it very much. But I kept on with the series, and the series gets so good. I will talk about it in detail in my December wrap up, which will come later. But for now, all I want to say is that if you read The Naturals and you did not enjoy it, keep at it because the other books, these mysteries are insane. Jennifer Lynn Barnes' mind is insane. I feel like I want to sit in a room with her and I just want to talk about where she gets her ideas from because the mystery in these books, it gets so dark. And I'm going to be honest, I'm really good at guessing plot twists. I'm like crazy good at it. It's been my thing this year too. Like I've read a ton of mysteries and I've been able to solve all of them. But this one, every time you think you have it, you don't. Every single time you think you have it, you don't. You're not even in the ballpark with these books. And I'm able to figure out a couple of things, but never the real deal. That's how good these mysteries are. Like her mind is insane. They're so dark, they're so twisted. Just I could rave about the mysteries in these books endlessly. The plot is insane. It's crazy. It's the exact kind of plot I like from my thrillers. I like to be on the edge of my seat. I like plot twists on plot twists. I like to be taken off guard, and she did all of that with this book. The second and third book especially, oh my god. In those two books, I couldn't stop reading. I started reading Killer Instinct and I had to stay up till 5 a.m. to finish it. I could not put it down. And then the same with the other books as well. Like I read all these books within a couple of days. I couldn't go to sleep. I just couldn't go to sleep. I do have some reservations involving some of the characters and character dynamics, but I'm willing to overlook them because the mystery, oh my god, so good. So good. So once again, if you're a mystery fanatic, and also if you like to read mysteries but only adult mysteries, and because you think young adult mysteries won't give you what you're looking for, trust me, this will. This will. Just go for it. You will enjoy it. Alright, and that was the last of it. Those are all my favorite books of the year. Oh my god. I honestly think I've had a great reading year. Like, these are just my absolute favorites. But beyond this, also, I've read a lot of books that I really enjoyed. I've had a really good reading year. There's a lot of books that I'm really fond of, and there's a lot of new authors I found this year that I really enjoy, and I want to keep going back to all their work. But yeah, those are all my favorite books of the year. Let me know what your favorites were. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram, linked down below. All my socials actually, linked down below. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'm almost at 300 subscribers, which I would love to get to by the end of the year. So do subscribe, do like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.